All right, folks, do not touch that dial. You're about to meet the most amazing woman entrepreneur who grew up in rural Minnesota, has been a professional figure skater, worked on Wall Street, is currently a real estate developer, had her own marketing and advertising company, and owns a golf course in East Texas that was rated #1 in the state of Texas for 8 years in a row. Coming up next, Jodi Lutz on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. And explode your real estate business we're going to do today. We have a firecracker with us in the house. Trelvis, you got the fire extinguisher ready back there for us?
I do. I have a cup of water as well, just in case.
Yes. Well, you met Jodi before the show. She is a pistol. And I'm going to tell you something. It's amazing how somebody could accomplish what she's done. And just, I mean, you're continuing, Jodi. Let's go ahead and bring her on. And C3, by the way, it's great to have you. We're on our way to Cabo tomorrow.
Yes.
And we're delighted to have this send-off with Jodi. Jodi, welcome to Cliff's Notes. We're super excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
I don't know why you're excited to be here because your story is a lot better than ours. I'll tell you what. How many of y'all hold your hands up out there in the audience if you've heard of a little golf course near Athens, Texas called Pine Dunes? Look at that. You see them? See, they're all holding their hands up, aren't they?
Cars are stopping.
The cars are stopping. I love it. Yes. And actually, you know, that thing was not even dreamed of. How many years ago did you get involved in that?
Well, I bought the land in 1996 when I first moved to Dallas. And then I met David Frost through mutual figure skaters who were friends with him. And he saw the land and convinced me to build a golf course. At that time, Jay Morrish was busy doing Tehama for Clint Eastwood. So he got around to designing mine late 1997, 98. And we opened in 2001.
In 2001.
April 15th, 2001.
Wow. And so from 0 to #1, in how many years did that take you?
It was probably, well, the first year we were in a lot of the major publications. We got Best New Course in America at #6. So we were getting a lot of press early on, mostly because of Jay Morrish. And Jay Morrish told everybody, oh, this is the best work I've ever done, the best set of par 3s I've ever done. And he just felt really confident that this was a great design because I let him do whatever he wanted because I'd go meet with him once a week in his Flower Mound office and sign off on drawings. I mean, he did the old draftsmanship way on his table. And he goes, wow, this is easy. You're the first person that never had to tell me what I need to be doing. You know, I go, well, you're the expert. We just sat and visited. I never told him, hey, well, why don't you move the green this way? Or why don't you make the par 3 a little bit tougher? I just let him do his magic. So it was the first time he ever got to design a golf course where nobody influenced him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I think he did something special for me.
Well, you must have grown up with, like a set of golf clubs in your crib. Is that right? You've been playing golf for your whole life?
No, I was a figure skater.
You were
And
a
my
figure
dad
skater.
played golf. And I
Okay.
remember in Minnesota, we'd take our road trips to see Arnold Palmer's hangar. And our big thrill was looking in the window and seeing Arnold Palmer's plane. He was a huge golfer. But
So that was your early exposure
yeah,
to golf?
it was my dad. But my brothers both played. My 2 brothers were really good golfers, but I was a figure skater. In Minnesota, you don't play golf much of the year, you know.
To
So
say the
you don't
least.
really.
Right. Yeah, unless you play with the orange balls that float, right?
Yes.
Isn't that it or something?
Well, you have some crazy people. Like my cousin from Wisconsin comes down in the middle of winter to Pine Dunes, and they're wearing shorts and T-shirts, and all the other people are looking at them like, "Where's your, winter gear?"
Right.
And they're drinking a case of beer a day, thinking, "Hey, this is fun."
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. So, I mean, that's just, and you're a single mom,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the things that
Never
you've-
been married, had my son on my own, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Best thing I ever did.
That's the thing you ever did.
Everything else
Cool.
is just,
Ladies, write that one down.
oh,
okay?
yeah.
We'll talk about that later if that's okay. But let's rewind a little bit here. And so you're from rural Minnesota,
Yes.
right? So we always like to, we have celebrities on the show. And I think one thing that people really enjoy about meeting our guests is, there's this wonderful thing they see that has taken all this work to get there, but all you see is the end product. Will you take us back a little bit and just sort of talk about like where you came from and
Well, I came from the country, right outside of Stillwater, Minnesota. I went to a small school called Matamidi, and my dad was into construction and my mom was a homemaker. And there's 6 of us. I was the youngest of 6, and so my dad worked a lot of jobs building homes, building strip centers, and doing strip centers meaning commercial properties, not like strip centers.
Oh, like,
not those
okay,
strip
it took me a
centers.
minute. Yes,
You
I get it.
know,
My
okay.
mind didn't go there
yeah,
right
it's
away.
like shopping centers.
I promise, Karen, my
yes.
mind didn't go there. Tell
But
my wife.
he, so we didn't have a lot of money, but we didn't know that, and I used to skate on the pond, and then my brother gave me skating lessons. I'm younger than my oldest siblings, and he bought me skating lessons one year, and the pro just thought I had some special talent, and so she started working with my parents and giving me lessons. So that's how I got started. And then I just dug right into the figure skating. So I didn't really play golf till I started building Pine Dunes. And then everybody was inviting me to play these golf courses, and I had no idea how to play. I still have never had a lesson. I just kind of watched a lot of videos.
Oh, well, you're a quick learner, obviously. I mean, did you take lessons as a figure skater?
Yeah, I had a coach
you did,
for years.
right? And then you weren't just good at it, but you actually turned professional.
Yeah, I was a
at one
professional. My problem was the figures. Back in my day, we had to do figures along with the short and the long, and you had to spend a lot of time on figures. And some people were really good at figures, and that would help with their scores. In fact, one of my fellow competitors was really good at figures, and then she'd fall in the short and the long program, but then her figures would, propel her to first. So, it's a lot different now. I mean, I might get back into it.
Oh my God! I just had an epiphany.
What?
Can you explain to the audience what a figure is?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is that why they
a
call it figure
tracing.
skating?
Yeah, well, the
Oh my
tracing's
God!
on the
I never.
ice.
Travis, did you know that? That's why they call it figure skating.
I did not know
had
that.
no
We
idea.
learn
Oh,
something new
that's
every
funny.
day.
You do like figure eights in brackets, and there's just little tracings that you have to draw it on the ice. And we used to have a scribe when you first start, which is just really a big compass that sketches a perfect circle. And then you used to have to do your edges. So you have a clean edge around the whole thing. Then you change feet and go on the inside edge or go on the outside edge. And you do brackets, which you turn around and go forward or go backwards. And you had to trace on the exact same tracing of your original one. And that's what you got judged on, how good your tracings were. You
Is
don't
that
know, you
right?
never knew that?
Oh my God! I feel so
No.
dumb.
Yeah.
It's like when I used to drive
feel
around
old.
and when I was young, I would see, you see the signs, street signs that say frontage road. I'd see those in every city we'd go, and I was like, my God, this has got to be the longest road in the United States. Frontage road, right? Not knowing it meant like frontage for the
Right.
highway, right? That's how I feel. Once I figured out what that was, that's how I feel right this minute, okay?
Wow. Yeah.
That's
Same
pretty
here.
dumb.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
We just had the Winter Olympics.
So we
yeah.
digress,
Yeah,
yes.
we
That's
digress.
another show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll,
Yes.
we'll go back into Cliff's IQ here in a minute. Okay, so figure skating, but what other athlete? So golf, not until you actually started
Yeah.
Pine Dunes, and that was 2000 and change,
And
right?
I was
So-
invited to play at all these nice courses all over, like Valderrama in Spain. And I'm like, I got to get my game up because these people aren't going to, wait on me all day, which they were a lot of the time. I mean, remember when Tina McDonald and John McDonald were doing Dallas National, and Tina invited me to come play golf with her and this champion at Brook Hollow. And they literally kind of just left me behind because they were playing from the whites and, they're scratch golfers. And I was a beginner. I was hitting it all over the place, so.
Well, you showed them. You have your own golf course
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's true.
Exactly. So not only did you go from figure skating into golf, but you also, at some point, you got into investments in Wall Street and actually lived in New York for a while. How did that happen? What was
Well,
that pivot about?
When I moved to Dallas, I had worked 5 jobs to put myself through college, and I had $10,000 when I graduated. So I came to Dallas and worked for a small ad agency, and I didn't like that because I had to be paid to sit there and do nothing. And I'd be sitting there looking at magazines and Inc. magazine. And I decided I'm going to start my own company. So I started a company called Yahoo Discount Graphic Supplies, which was funny because that was when Broadcast.com was getting bought out by the other Yahoo, and everybody thought it was my company buying Mark Cuban's company. So it was really kind of funny. But I started Yahoo before Yahoo. In fact, I sold to their ad agency. So I think they stole my name because the logo looks exactly like mine, the Yahoo logo. It's so funny. And my dad came to work for me and Mom. I moved him down from Minnesota, and he'd answer the phone, Wahoo, and I go, Dad, it's Yahoo. And he'd always go, Wahoo.
In Minnesota, that's pronounced
Yeah,
Wahoo.
yeah. So I
the
bought
fish,
off
right.
of Freewood Drive over there off of 35. I bought an office warehouse space and moved my company into it and did tiny offices, like little single offices for people. And because I had to have a storefront in order to sell direct from 3M and Faber-Castell, all these major players. And I could buy like at 50, 40, and 30% off of retail, which I could discount 20% or 40% and have a huge markup. So I made a ton of money doing just graphic supplies. And, a graphic artist at that time, we didn't have computers, so there's only maybe 10 items everybody used every day, and that's what I carried. And then I ended up signing a long-term lease with my company, and then I sold the company, and then I sold the building because of the long-term lease, and I was able to develop Pine Dunes.
Wow.
But in the meantime, I bought my first office building on Central Expressway, which is now where Michael Dell built that high-rise. And I owned that for 15 years. And yeah. So I started getting in real estate early.
Wow. And at what point did you get into the money management side of things?
Well, that came after I sold Yahoo. Then I was interviewing, Nations Bank came here and they're interviewing, for positions for people inside their banks to do financial advice. And so my brother and I both were going to interview because my brother, worked for me. He was my delivery man because I said you could have your art order anywhere in town in an hour, and I'd pack up the orders and he'd deliver them. And so then when I sold it, he decided, well, he's going to try to do the finance thing too. So we both went and applied. My interview was earlier, and he ran late to his because we shared the same car. And so he blames me, and I got the job, and I ended up being the top producer after the first 2 years. And then I went to Merrill Lynch, and I was in the chairman's circle, which is the highest you can be as the only female in that circle. And I remember on one of our trips to Hawaii, the chairman got up and said, okay, guys, let's go to our meetings. The women can go shop. So I went and shopped. Because I was like the only female in the whole place. Yeah.
Oh, my
So I just went
heavens.
shopping.
Wow. I mean, we laugh about that now, but that's kind of a sad statement, isn't it?
Oh, it didn't bother me. I like
No?
being in a man's world.
Yeah?
I mean, look at with golf course owners, all that stuff, developers
Sure.
and the finance. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it doesn't bother me. A lot of people want to give me advice. I mean, everybody tells me, you know what you need to do out here.
Yeah.
And I don't think they would tell another guy that, especially when they're the owner,
Well, I mean, Jodi, that sounds like a story made in heaven.
And it feels like it.
But I know there had to have been some times where you were thinking to yourself, why did I do what I did? Or why am I about to go off a cliff here? I mean, even buying a golf course, what were some of the tough decisions that you had to make in your life, especially when it came to business?
Well, I never take too much risk. I always have it figured out, meaning I have cash flow enough for a few years. I don't live month to month. My car's 11 years old. I lived in the same house for 20 years. And my son, when he went to St. Mark's, he came home when he was little, he's like, Mom, do we have a mansion, a mega mansion, or a castle? And I said, we have a double wide.
A double wide.
But it's a smaller home, but I mean, it's fine for two of us.
Sure.
And I I could afford a bigger house, but you really don't make much money, unless my place in Beaver Creek did, because, everybody's going to the mountains. But a lot of times it's hard when you figure in taxes and,
Well.
all the bills. So I like my little house, and I like to invest my money. I like to invest it in other things. So I have no debt on anything. I have zero debt on anything
The
I
golf
own.
course has no debt?
Nothing. I
Wow.
have zero debt on anything I own.
Wow, that's amazing. You've
But
obviously,
like I said, my car's 11 years old, and we just redid the bunkers this year with the Better Billy bunker system, and I'm really excited. I was about a little over $500,000 to redo all of our bunkers. We have 89 bunkers around that, including the practice area, so that's a lot of sand, and that was a major renovation, but it should be done the end of March.
well, you've got a lot going on at that golf course right now
Yeah.
that maybe a lot of people don't know about.
The brand new lodge, the Double Eagle Club, it's you can stay in it, but the private Double Eagle Club, the great room, is for the members only, so they can rent it out and they can have their parties. They can play the Masters out there and go and watch the Masters when they're done, or they can have a reunion, or they can have a family get together. So I'm really excited. I've just started to offer the memberships. It's brand new.
So how does that work then? Are you going to limit the number of members, and
Yeah.
have you already gotten the different levels and established your pricing?
Well,
for
there's
the
just
memberships,
one membership, and it has a small initiation fee. Well, not small, but kind of small to Dallas. And then you have a monthly due. And that is something unique I've done, is it includes you and a guest. So, like, you could join and bring your son all the time, and you'd play for free. So it's like you and a guest golf for free
Like a
on that one
companion-
membership.
companion
Yeah.
pass.
But you could
Right.
go and bring a friend if his
Right.
name is on it. But you could bring a friend if your name is on it. So it's good for couples.
Well, we have the same name. How would that?
Well, your
Wes-
picture,
Oh,
you know.
yes, that's always
It
gets
would-
us in
he would
trouble.
never pass for
It's
you.
always
He
a date
would
of
never
birth.
pass. He'd have to
Yeah.
color his hair a little bit.
You'd
Yeah.
be surprised how much he leverages
Oh,
that
yeah.
we have the same name.
It's awesome,
Yeah.
especially the Admirals Club
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Admirals Club's
when we
great.
fly.
Oh, yeah.
Like whenever I'm not flying with them, I'll.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Anyways,
I think
Anyway,
you just
shh, we
ruined
don't
that
want
now.
this-
I think
remember, what
people
everything you
need
say
to know
here
that
is gonna go on the
Admirals
internet.
Club,
Yeah.
there might be somebody watching.
Okay. Well, I think in
Probably
fact,
on at the Admirals Club.
right.
and you're not poor boying, even though it's in Athens or it's Frankston, right?
Frankston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you bought that town yet? By the way, are you planning on buying it or?
But I think I need a sign that has a number one golf course in the state up there, don't you? That's what.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're in marketing, right? Yeah.
I'm-
So, but you're not poor boying it. This is.
Yeah, this is very
this
high
is
end.
Really nice. It is not.
I made a
like-
lot of money in options
Yeah.
when the crisis happened, and I put it all into this place. It's very high end.
Do you
It's
want to show?
5-star.
You want to show a little clip?
Yeah,
of,
yeah. I think Trellis. Do you have anything like that out? The one that shows the structure. This is a rendering. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, this is the clubhouse.
Yeah, this is the clubhouse. Tell us about this.
Eric Peterson, who is one of the top clubhouse designers out there. I mean, he wins awards every year. You'll look at his work, and he designed this for me. I wanted something that you could see through, because it's beautiful. I have the most beautiful land out there, and a lot of piney woods. You know, the sky. I'm on a hill. Most golf courses aren't on a hill. I'm actually on a hill. And so it has beautiful views. And I mean, it's usually almost a green run from the clubhouse to the first tee. That's the slope. And you can see right through the building if you look as you go around. On the left-hand side will be the pro shop, so they can check 18 and check the first tee out the windows to make sure, it's flowing okay or who's coming off. And then the entrance, and then the restaurant on the right with an outdoor bar in the middle.
That's very nice.
That is really nice. And I'm sorry, you said the architect is out in Beverly Hills?
Yeah, Eric Peterson.
Okay. That is super nice. Now, what's your time frame for this? Look at are those, is that a viewing area, or that's part of the restaurant there? I see. Yeah.
And then
okay.
the back is where the, deliveries will
Sure,
be
sure.
and all that kind of stuff.
And what is your time frame for getting this open?
Well, I'm pushed it down the road a little bit just because it's so hard to get any kind of supplies, construction supplies, whether it's paneling, whether it's flooring, whether it's paint colors. I mean, because nobody was making any during COVID, so there's a lot of catch up going on, and the prices are just kind of crazy right now anyhow. And I'm hoping that when supply picks up and people go back to work and there's more supply, there's less demand, at that rate that we'll have better choices. Because when I did the new lodge, which hopefully you'll see next, I picked whatever I wanted, and I got the top pick on everything, and it's just stunning, especially my island. It's a one of a kind.
Well, yeah. In fact, you were a designer, right?
Yeah, I was
for a while.
in one of my past lives. I did almost everything. That's why I do my own marketing. So you think about it, everything I've done up to this point, I don't need anybody.
Right.
What has she
I
not
can't
been able
afford
to
anybody.
accomplish, Right?
Yeah.
I can't afford anybody. My GM says, "Well, Jodi, nobody works for free," and I go, "I do."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You don't need a husband. You're married to
No,
your
yeah, my-
to your
my
work
job.
right now. Yeah. To your.
But
to
it's
your
fun.
passion.
I love
Right.
it. The marketing side. I mean, I do all my own videos in my social media.
Yeah.
That's so much fun. Don't tell my clients, but it's so much more exciting than picking stocks, which I still love to do that because that's a passion too. But doing the videos and coming up with cute little videos, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Apparently, you know how to do it. You've got a couple that have like over 1 million views.
Yeah, I won 1.4 million, another 1 million too.
And what are you doing in those videos?
Just hitting golf shots.
Just hitting golf shots.
Yeah, chips or putts, and one of them was against the wind, and I had that music against the wind. We were running against the wind, and it looked like it was going on, and the wind gust came, and it pushed it back. So
That's
it was
worth
almost
$1.4
ready
million.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
And then another one was a fast screen. Everybody wants to see those fast screens.
oh yeah. What is your
What
screen
are they
speed?
at the step on the step meter?
They're really, really fast. Yeah, like a 9.
Are they firm?
Yeah. Right now, especially when the greens are dormant.
Right.
Yeah.
They're really fast.
Are they bent or Bermuda?
Tiff Eagle.
Tiff
Eagle.
Eagle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 419 on the fairways. I went and looked at GN1, which is Greg Norman's, and then Crenshaw's grass. I traveled around researching my grasses.
Yeah. I think I smoked some of Crenshaw's grass one time.
Yeah, I've studied the soil sciences before.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
I think that was a singer that you
Oh,
that
might have
had
been.
grass.
Okay. Okay. But we've actually also got a shot of the inside of
Yeah,
the
double eagle club.
yeah, the double eagle. We got that. Look at that. Boy, that
those
looks
big
like C3's
chairs in the
living room.
front.
Yeah.
Guys, just to relax. Then the full kitchen and chef's kitchen
Now is that the marble you got
Yeah,
picked out especially?
Wow.
Yeah.
and the
Look at
backsplash.
I love the colors. That looks like that looks like Element, our villa at
and then
Legacy
here
West.
you have your nice leather couches.
Yes.
You can sit out.
I love your coffee tables too.
That's the shuffleboard table on the left with a buffet on the top.
Holy
That's
cow.
huge.
Is that a 20
Yeah.
footer?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And then look at
Yeah.
you. It's the most beautiful view. You're on the hill. You're on the top of the hill. The Indians used to call it their sacred hill, or should I say Native Americans? But they used to call that their sacred hill.
Yeah.
And it is. I sit up there at night, and the sunsets, they're gorgeous. I just posted a picture on social
Yeah.
media that someone took of the sunset. And it's you feel like you're in heaven. It's so stunning, the views at night.
Yeah.
So Jodi,
in the
talk
morning.
about the proximity of relativeness. Like, how close is it to here? at the
90
drive?
minutes from downtown Dallas.
90 minutes is all. That's not
Well,
far.
if you drive fast like I do. Don't tell anybody. I did get pulled over coming out of Frankston. Be careful coming out of Frankston. It goes from 55 to 70. They're always sitting there.
That's
I
how
see
they-
the 70 sign, and I go, well, I saw the 70 sign. Well, you have to wait till you pass it. Did you know that? I've always sped up when I saw a speed increase. Did you?
So you speed up after you come to the speed.
Well, you're
increase.
supposed to, when you pass it, then you can speed up. I'm like, well, I saw it. And he goes, well, you can't speed up until you pass it.
Oh my gosh. Did he give you a
Seriously?
ticket?
Yes,
gave
he
you a
gave me a
ticket for that?
ticket.
Gave you a
From
ticket.
55 to 70, so it made it look like I was going like way over the speed limits, like 235. But I was okay with that because it's just a little town of Frankston. But be careful coming out
Yeah.
of Frankston, just if
Wow.
you come out there.
No kidding.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to lodge.
That's how that town funds its government,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think they just know it's me. They're like, she
really?
has money, well, even though I don't. But no, he's a real nice guy. He said, do you know what I'm pulling you over for? And then, of course, you see all these things that you did, but that wasn't one of them. No, I didn't come to a complete stop at the stop sign. Oh, not that one. Oh, I didn't. I'm like, oh, he's going to add these up and give me a bigger ticket.
Right. Yeah.
You
At
know,
least you
just
didn't
say, no, sir. Don't admit to any guilt.
Yeah.
Just say, no, I have no idea why you're pulling me over.
Yeah.
But I started trying to think what I could be pulled over for. I had no idea.
Wow. Interesting. Well, we love our law enforcement over.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
be confused about
No,
that.
I
We
thanked
just-
them.
We just don't like getting speeding
Yeah.
tickets.
Well, I was happy. I wasn't mean or anything.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
I didn't say, you know who I am in Frankston.
So if you're driving below the speed limit, and you decide you'd rather spend the night at the property,
Yeah.
at the golf course, Pine Dunes. What are the options there?
Well, we have 3 options. For every budget, we have tiny houses where you can have your own little place, and that starts at $79 a night. And then you have the condos that go for like $295 a night, and they sleep up to 4 people. And then the high end, the luxury lodge, is $395 on the weekday and $495 on the weekend.
Now, I think you also brought or Travis might be able to pull up a picture of one of the rooms. Now, where is this one?
This is a double eagle. This is a brand new one. I'm just opening it now for this golf season.
Uh-huh.
And there's 12 of them, so it can sleep up to 24.
Oh, wow.
Well, 22 because I have number 12. I'm not going to rent it out. I'm kind of living out of there. So for now, it's kind of a nice getaway. And then you have the double, the closets there that can hold up to 2 bags with, plenty. You can actually stay there for a while. I mean, I lived there remotely last year.
Wow, that's super nice.
It definitely has your touch to it, Jodi.
And you see the window in the bathroom, because I stayed at a place in Mexico, and I'm like, that's really cool, because you feel like you're outside taking a shower.
That is nice.
Yeah.
And
sure.
the titanium, platinum faucets and shower head. So you have it all.
Wow.
Was that a rain shower head?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what guys want.
I've got one of
beautiful.
those. I love mine.
So it's funny because I always show people the windows, and then Too Tall came out with some buddies, and they wanted to see it, and I'm like,
Too Tall Jones.
yeah. And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't make these high enough, because he's like looking, and I go, oh geez, and when he's out here, I got to be careful.
Right. He's like, what, 7
He's
foot,
really
isn't he?
tall, and
Yeah.
then my couches are huge, and I go, I don't even know if that couch is long enough for him. He's a nice guy.
Right. Yeah. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
So your golf game now, you've been playing a little while, right?
Yeah.
So how is it? How's your golf game?
Well, my short game is really good. I'm still working on my drives a little bit more, getting a little more distance, but it's coming along. Yeah.
That's awesome. Besides golf, you ski,
Yeah.
right? And you mentioned earlier you have a place in Beaver Creek.
Yep.
What drew you to Beaver Creek?
It's a short flight out of Dallas, and I just love the mountain. I ski Vail. I skied Beaver when my son was little, but now that he's a snowboarder, we go to Vail because there's a lot more terrain, and we like to go the back bowls and go all over the mountain. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the
And we do
double
trees,
black?
we do
Yeah.
bumps.
Oh my
we
gosh.
do. And my friend Allison, one of my best friends, she lives up there, and she's crazy. I mean, I follow her, and we were going through trees and going all over the place, and because she lives up there, so she really knows the mountain. So it's kind of fun to ski with someone that knows the mountain, because then you get a lot of powder. You don't stay on the groomed runs and all that.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
the whole point of going with somebody that knows where they're going, because you get that's
Oh,
the
it's-
best.
it's-
That's the best ski. So
Oh, you don't want to stop.
no.
Yeah.
No.
I want to make sure that people in the audience don't think that this is something that doesn't require some life skills, what you've done and what you continue to do. Who would you say had the biggest impact on you growing up?
Oh, I would have to say my dad, because my dad was a really hard worker. He'd work all day long on construction sites, and then he would come home at night and be inventing stuff in the basement. He came up with so many inventions. He did the rangefinder, made out of plastic with a lens on the end that just showed your yardage. And we used to help him build them. We had a little factory there, but it's totally my dad. And my dad and mom, I moved down when I bought the land, and I bought a little house out there, and my dad is 95, and he's been my marshal since I opened in 2001, and he loves it. So if you see an old guy out there driving around with the marshal, that's my dad. Say hi to him. He's met everybody. I had, like Patrick Mahomes, I had Aaron Rodgers out there, and I had Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride was my friend, and he came out and sang for my mom and dad. I listened to his 8-track tapes in my Oldsmobile 8 doing road trips
Growing
all
up.
the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Let the chips fall where they may, all that. My dad teared up, and then he played golf with Charlie. Charlie's like, I'm going to play with your dad. So I played, behind them with his friend. And my dad kept saying, well, Charlie hit it over here. He's just the nicest guy. Charlie
you've had-
Pride is one of my favorite.
I mean, you opened up your club with some celebrities.
Yeah, Pat
Summerall,
Summerall.
right?
He was my client for years, and him and his wife Cherry. They came to my grand opening. In fact, Pat and I played the very first round ever played at Pine Dunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are some other celebrities who've
George Bush.
graced the greens there? George
George
Bush.
Bush.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people that I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of catching me. Justin Leonard.
Okay.
Justin
Okay.
Leonard. And I get a lot of film people and other sports people. I when I did the grand opening, I used to manage money for a lot of football players. So I had a lot of football players, some from the Denver Broncos, some from the Vikings, and some from the Cowboys, and they all were part of my grand opening.
Interesting. Wow. That's amazing. So if you closed your eyes for a minute and could go fast forward things 5 years from now, what is Pine Dunes going to look like? What's it going to be like?
My first thought was, what am I going to look like? I don't. Can we go back 5 years? Geez, I got to work a lot harder. I'm really excited about what's happening right now because it's kind of trending again. I get these younger guys that are in 20 and 30s that drive out there from Dallas and they're so excited to play and they take such good care of the golf course. And I'm like a god to them. I mean, like they follow me on Instagram and Facebook and they just love the course. They send me these incredible videos. They're all having fun. And I mean, I just love being able to do that for people. That's the best feeling. It's like, it's better than any money. I mean, you know, I laugh because I have an old car, an old house, and that doesn't really matter to me as much as making something happen and doing something with my life. And so that feels really cool. But of course, it's going to be fun when I can build the new clubhouse and, you know, all that, you know, but I'm going to do it small because like I've been doing it because like I said, I don't have any debt. I don't want to go into debt. I don't want to be stuck with a $6 million note or $10 million note having to pay interest when my overhead is already so high with the golf course. So now I'm in a good cash position. The golf course is finally making money after 20 years and I'm just going to reinvest that along with my investments that I do for myself. I can have the money. I'll be able to do it.
So is the golf course your legacy or your big why, or is it just a part of it?
I think my son is going to be my legacy.
Tell us about Jackson.
He's amazing. He's got a perfect score on his ACT. He's a physics major. That's what he's applying to at colleges. He's a great golfer, but he doesn't have the discipline I did. I mean, I really kind of stink at everything, but I work hard, so I'm, you know, better than average. He's just gifted. And if he worked just a little harder, I mean, he almost got a hole-in-one on his tournament this week, and so now he's really pumped up. He's playing in a tournament in Austin on Sunday and Monday, so he's really fired up about that. I don't know if it's more about riding with Hockaday on the bus down there to St. Mark's and Hockaday. Something has him excited. I don't know what it is. I was hoping it was golf. But
Well, it's funny. We didn't know this. In fact, Jodi, this is the first time you and I have met.
Yeah.
It's been a real thrill, but coincidentally, I went to St. Mark's 12 years and was on the golf team there. So I'd really like to meet your son and wish him well. And we have an alumni tournament coming up in April. You and I are going to be playing in that. C3 is
We've got our Prosper one and the St. Mark's one.
That's right.
Yeah.
We at Prosper Education Foundation.
Yes,
we donate $10,000 every year to 4 golfers in the Prosper Independent School District. Not just the best ones, but they have to apply for it. It's called the Heart of a Champion Award.
Yep.
And so we ask them to write an application and tell us, what is special about, why they deserve the award, what they had to overcome. And then we award 4 golfers. We did it last year, was our first year. So
super
we're
special.
really excited to
oh, that's
to do
great.
that.
I love hearing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Do you guys ever do high school tournaments out at your
We do a lot
college?
of tournaments. We do a lot of qualifiers. We're really popular with the high school, like the East Texas and all that, because it's a championship course. It's a tough course.
Yeah.
But they set tees up for all levels too. They come and make a tee. For the younger kids, it's kind of interesting.
That
They
is
have
so-
tournaments. I was like, what is that
like
stuff?
the
And
US the
I go,
US
I'm going to
kids
play off
team.
of that one. Geez, I can shoot par if I play off of those tees.
Yeah. But how
They're
cool,
like from 5 and up.
for you to allow those kids. I mean, like you said, it's a championship golf course. There's a lot of courses that wouldn't.
They don't allow that.
They wouldn't allow.
Yeah.
No, and Jackson did first tee last year out there and helped all these kids on first tee out in East Texas. And
Is
the parents
that
would
right?
come out and golf, and then he would be working with the kids at first tee.
Similar to what I did growing up.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
see?
shorty
He
here.
loved it.
US
He took
Kids
it so
Tour.
seriously.
Yeah.
Mom, I got to go get my kids. I'm like, oh,
It's so special.
Not yet. You're too young. Yeah. He really liked it.
teaching more people about the game, and especially at a younger age, I think it's really unique because this is one of those games that you can do business on the golf course. You can do it for a long period
For
of your
life.
lifetime.
Yep.
Right.
And by yourself. You don't need a bunch
You
of
don't
people.
have to be with anybody. That was my favorite part growing up, is I got to go out as a young golfer and get to experience, the golf course by yourself, and you get to know yourself a lot better as well.
You don't need another person to practice with. You can go out and practice as much
That's
as you
true.
want.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't blame anybody else. It's you and the golf course.
No, I keep,
Right?
I tell Jackson that, you're not playing against anybody else. You're playing against the golf course.
Right.
Right.
And keep that in mind. Don't worry about anybody else's shot. Just worry about you and the golf.
And what was do you remember the first thing they taught you at First Tee?
Was it how to greet somebody, I believe? Yeah.
Exactly.
How to greet.
How to
greet
shake
some-
hands.
Yeah,
Yes.
shake hands, yeah.
Take your hat off, give it a firm handshake. Those are life lessons.
No, it's an elbow bump.
elbow bump. Is what it is now.
Well,
Young kids don't
Yeah.
know what to do.
Well,
yeah, for sure. But,
nowadays it's a
but
little different,
I mean, when you're trying to help somebody really understand themselves, have self-awareness, and really get their core values in line,
yeah.
it's good to have that structure and that knowledge and that experience, because golf can be a lot of fun. He got hit head on jumping over the line at Frankfurt. Was it 6th grade, 8th grade?
So it wasn't me jumping over the line. Someone jumped over the linemen and
and
got
met
me
you,
and met
right.
me, and
Yeah,
it was
head on.
very.
Yeah. So
Yeah, incidentally, I got a really
this is
bad
before
concussion,
concussion
but-
protocol and
Yeah.
stuff. But anyway,
Oh,
we
I've
think
had
he
my
had
concussions.
yeah.
Figure skating.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Couple
that
of-
was the end of his football career.
Yeah.
The next week, I had him out on the golf course, and I said, "How does this look for a practice field? Do you like this?" And
As you get older, you get to enjoy the 19th hole, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yes.
there's that benefit too.
And
Yeah,
the cart
sure.
girl.
Yeah. yes.
That was one of my favorites growing up, was getting to hit on the cart girls.
Get the hit on. You still do? No, you don't. I'm
Well,
kidding.
yeah, well.
Anyway, that's you just minister to them. That's
Right,
what we
yes,
call
I
it.
preach. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jodi, is there anything that, you have an audience? A lot of these folks in our audience are aspiring young realtors who are about to get into one of the most challenging things, because there is nobody there to pick them up. They're 100% commission. What advice, especially the women, if you could just speak to the women for a second, what's the best word that you could share with them to help them navigate the waters that lay ahead of them? What would be the one or two things that you think would have the biggest impact on somebody's career?
Well, I would just say, the harder you work, the luckier you get. I mean, that saying is true. I mean, I work every day. Now it's more enjoyable than it was when I first started out. But, you just have to push yourself. And by that, I mean, only you can do it for yourself. And you just need to keep pushing yourself. And, I mean, it's a nonstop job. For me, everything from my health to my fitness to being active and on top of running all these businesses, but you really, just focus on yourself and making yourself better, and everything else falls into place. If you focus on yourself and what's in front of you, especially if you have a real estate listing, look at it as to what do you really like about it, because that's probably what a lot of people like about it. Because everybody's pretty average. I found out the reason I'm so successful is I'm the most average person out there. Usually when I think of something, everybody else is thinking of it. And it's really true. I always said I'm the most average person. And it's a good thing, because then you relate to more people.
So where is your safe place? Where do you seek refuge and get your batteries recharged when you have downtimes?
Wine?
Wine?
No.
Pine
cut that.
Dunes?
There's
Cut that.
real quick, I have to say this because I saw this on Facebook. Somebody put out a post that said realtors should drink less wine. And then somebody commented below and they said, "Where can I find that brand?" But seriously, I mean, what are the things that you do to just unplug from the world? Do you like
Run.
to
I
just-
love
you like
running. When I run, I come up with a lot of ideas. I do a lot of my best thinking when I'm out running, just in nature. And I run the golf course every morning when I'm out there before the golfers, and it's beautiful with all the animals, and it's really good for it's really better to do it in bare feet because it's really good for your body. But I haven't done that yet because we pour chemicals, so that's probably doing the opposite. But it's just being out in nature, either that or skiing. That's really where I get my break, is being outside in nature.
Yeah.
And just absorbing the sun and just being out there. It's just beautiful. And that's my escape. I have to do that every day. I mean, I have to get outside at some point and just breathing the air and the sun.
Do you have any thought leaders you follow? Any books you like? Any people? Any podcasts you like to listen to besides mine?
Just
Ours.
you're well, I not really. I read everything. I read a lot of business stuff. I read a lot of stock stuff because that's what I do. And I read or listen to some podcasts, but mostly political kind of stuff. And then, anything. I'm trying to find the news, the real news. I just don't know where to go.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah, it really is.
I want to find what's really going on.
Right. Well, all I can say is you talk about the real deal.
Right. Well, I also want to ask her just
Yeah?
if there was one stock out there
Oh,
that maybe.
be a good
Have
time.
you
right
heard
now.
about EXPI at all?
No, the one I did buy, my brother, of course, didn't want me to buy. It was 52 in December, and I said, I got to put this in all my portfolios. I'm not going to tell them what it is, but I'm going to do it. It was DCAC, which is the Truth Media, and it's almost doubled since December.
Gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
And by the way, all the disclosures here, we're not
Yeah, we're not selling
recommending stocks and all that
anything.
sort of thing.
We're not.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
invest in Pine Dunes.
yeah. Pine Dunes, are you
Yeah,
public
but I
yet?
don't know anybody,
Yeah.
but I heard that's good.
Yeah. It
Invest
is
in a
good.
membership. They're going to go up money, way up. It's
I
going to
think you
double.
should.
by
I
next
think we
year.
should. Yeah.
Limited availability.
Well, we're going to be out there. We haven't had the pleasure yet to
Yeah, you need
enjoy
to come
yet,
out
but
and
we'll
check
come
it all
out.
out in
love to.
person.
I'll have to
Yeah.
do a write-up on a little review of the course for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the paper. All right. Everybody
Yeah.
knows we have the Prosper.
Oh, you have a
by the
paper?
way, yeah, I forgot. Let me just do a plug here real quick. But this is our paper, 13,000 circulation in the great town of Prosper, Texas. So if you live in Prosper, you get one of
That's
these.
booming up there. That's
Yeah,
a good
it's
place
going
to
crazy.
be.
Yeah, sure is. Well, we might even throw an ad in here for you. How's that?
Okay.
Get some people from Prosper out there, Joe
thank
Creek
you.
folks. All right. Well, guys, I look at the clock, and of course, here it is again.
Can't believe it's the top of the hour.
Jodi, you have been wonderful. It is
Yes.
so exciting to hear your story, and
Thank you.
You're an amazing woman who has accomplished more in your life than most people would do in 10 lives if they had them. And you continue just to keep, growing and getting things happening. And we can't wait to see your son. And he's got the DNA for sure. And he's going to do great things as well. But we would, again, love to come out and invite everybody in our audience to go visit Pine Dunes. It's near Athens, Texas, in East Texas. Beautiful piney woods area. It's
90
gorgeous
minutes,
out there.
a beautiful 4-lane road
Right.
all the way to my entrance.
It's a short
it's great,
45-minute
brand new.
drive if
Yeah.
C3's driving. You're right. Yep.
Yeah,
And,
if we're taking the vet, yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
40
But
minutes by helicopter.
40, there you go.
We
now
got a
you're thinking
helipad.
right.
I have a
There you
I put in a
Now
helipad.
we're talking. Exactly.
Because Uber was thinking about doing the helicopter service out of Dallas first. I said, well, I can 40 minutes by helicopter. I put up a helipad.
I hope they still do that. I really
I do as
I
well.
know.
Yeah.
That would make things a lot
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm going to say now is adios, hasta mañana, because we're going to Cabo San Lucas.
Que tengan buen día.
Que tengan buen día, sí, and we will be playing a little golf. He will anyway. I'm on the injured reserve list down there. But Jodi, thank you again for being
Okay.
here. It's so
Thanks
exciting
for
to meet
having
you.
me.
And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what'd you think? Did you like this? If you did, hit us with some likes and some love and some hearts on Facebook. And unfortunately, we won't be back next week, but we're going to have some really cool things to talk about in 2 weeks right here on Cliff's Notes. Come see us. All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it!